This show may contain swearing and themes of an adult nature. This is Ray.
Inside the Cyberpunk studios on Ray Radio. Hello and welcome to Inside the Cyberpunk studio here on Ray Radio. I'm your host Rory Joscelyne, and we have a special guest with us today. Is Sam Anderson.
Hello.
Hello. She's from Ark Indie Productions, as well as several other independent productions that she's worked on. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Ark Indie Productions. Explain a little bit about who they are and how that came to be.
At the moment, it's a very small team. We've been going since October, so we're literally babies in this. And it started I wanted to write and make a film and act in a film. Work was going pretty slow in terms of my work through my agent, so I thought, well, best thing to do is make it happen for myself. So I thought, it was actually my husband. I've got to give him credit with the idea of the film he came up with. It was a dream that he had, quite a scary, very, very quick dream. And I thought, well, that has a beginning, middle and end. I can write that, I can film it all in one location. Minimum actors, minimum everything. So I put it paper to pen, gave it a go, and then I got on board Alice, Ryan and Dan Keeble. And I put it to them and just said, what do you think? Do you think this is something you could get involved in? It's a passion project. It's not going to make us any money or anything, but just to get something done, what do you think? And they were both up for it. Cool. So, yeah, and then, you know who else we got on board? It was yourself for sound.
Hello. Yes, I seem to inject myself into other people's projects.
No, we dragged you along.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. So
yeah, it was great that we could do it in 2 nights. I think was it 3?
And we had pizza.
No, 2. And we had
2 nights.
Yeah.
And we had pizza.
We had pizza. That was the best bit. Yeah, that made it.
That was memorable. Not the weird. I remember there was a sequence that you'd storyboarded with. You had where you were going to dip your toe into the bath. There's a sequence where you get in the bath. Nothing lewd, but essentially the picture she'd drawn looked like she had a gigantic. Was it the candle was gigantic, wasn't it?
The candle was in focus, and in the background was my foot, so like pointy toes, so going into the water. And it sounds quite simple, but my drawing made it all sorts of confusing.
There was no perspective.
No, and there was no art.
No. It looked like the candle was the same size as your monster foot going into a tiny bath.
But that picture went down so well, actually.
Well, what was funny was we all laughed at it, and then when Dan shot it, he shot it, and with the perspective, it looked the same. It was just because the perspective was there in the camera, it looked decent. It was just.
I'm sorry, but
actually, your storyboard was spot on to what you filmed.
It came to life.
It was just funny because we were all sitting there going, "What's wrong with your monster feet? What's going on?" And then you see the final thing, we're like, "Yeah, it's the same as the monster foot thing." We'll shut up.
She knew all along.
We'll come back to you in just a little bit.
Yes, sure.
First of all, what I want to explain is normally we would have Alice here as a co-host. People who listened last week will know that Alice was my special guest that week. Me and Alice made an agreement that she would also be a co-host. Unfortunately, she can't make it here this week. The waterman is coming around to deal with her pipes.
Oh.
Yeah. Take that as you like.
Exactly.
If you're listening at home, Alice, you can call up and complain.
Please do.
It's always worthwhile. Now, the other thing as well is the way I advertised this show was we were going to do an episode about a musician called Lolita Holloway. It's all right. I see the look on your face. You're like, who the hell is that? It will become clearer. I'm going to do that one in 2 weeks' time. The reason I'm not doing it today, and I'm going to try and keep this apolitical, because I'm not trying to make this a left or a right wing or whatever type of show. I'm trying to keep it kind of balanced. Yeah, however, but at the same time, I have to accept that there was an election yesterday. The results have come out today. There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of contention. Even people that were happy with the re-election result would admit that there is a tumultuous time ahead. And again, this is not me trying to get political. However, I have to acknowledge that there is a very tense atmosphere, certainly where this has been a very aggressive campaign, possibly on both sides, but certainly a very aggressive political campaign.
Yeah.
So what I did, rather than focus on Lolita Holloway, because I think it's probably the wrong move for the atmosphere in the country at the moment, I've decided to go with gritty cyberpunk music. As you just heard, the first song was The New Black by Perturbator. Essentially, the new Perturbator is a French musician. He's done quite a few cyberpunk centred albums in the past, and this particular track, the actual vocals from it are quoted from a film called Network, which was made in 1976. Have you ever seen that film? No. So it's an interesting film. At the time, it was considered a satire. And as you probably heard from the music, it doesn't sound like a satire. When you hear it back, it's quite powerful, you know.
I think you've played it to me before, actually.
Yeah, I have, yeah. So it's a great track. Ironically, as I say, Network was meant to be a comical satire along the lines of, imagine if the media became basically just hired unhinged extremists to rant fears instead of just reporting the truth.
Okay.
That was the joke in 1976.
Not so funny now.
Yeah. So George Clooney was actually going to remake the film in about 2013. And in order to see if the film was going to actually sell to a younger audience, because it couldn't just rely on the few remaining people that might remember 1976.
Don't look at me.
From 1976. Yeah, I look at you. He had to rely on a newer audience picking it up and finding it amusing. So he did a screening of it, of the original, and he noticed that none of the young people were laughing. So when he went afterwards, he asked them, he's like, why didn't you guys laugh? What was it about the humour that you missed? And they all replied with, they didn't think it was funny because they thought it was a drama. Yeah. They didn't see the humour in it. No. Because it's all too real now with people who, like, you have very ranty people on both sides. You have people like Alex Jones, I don't know if you're aware of him, InfoWars it's called. It was popular on YouTube for a while, it's now gone independent, but essentially is a very big ranty right-winger man sitting there going, they're putting all the stuff in the air, turn the frogs gay. That's a very popular quote, turning all the frogs gay, which you're just like, really,
God.
mate? But yeah, so you've got that stuff, but on the other side as well, on a sort of more liberal left-wing version, you've got Jonathan Pye. Okay, he's a comedian, but he does sort of left-wing sort of political rants as well. Okay. So that's become our norm. That's how we've, and that's the whole political campaign has been debated on the grounds of the other side are scum. Yeah, it's been toxic, as everyone keeps using the term. You know, the other side, no matter which side you're on, the other side is conspiring against you, and
it's so
they
easy
are
to
all
do.
disgusting scum. Yeah. This is quite the horrendous atmosphere that's been generated. Yeah. But this is the same sort of vibe that was in Network. This is what Network showcased as a joke, and this is now our standard.
And it was prophetic at the time, obviously.
Yeah, nobody thought it would be. Yeah. That's the irony. If you watch it now, you can get it on Amazon Prime. Right. It's well worth a watch. Yeah. Definitely worth a watch.
What's it called again? I will write it down.
Network. Okay. Yeah, it's by MGM.
Oh, I might have heard of it, actually.
Yeah, very good film. After the jump, we'll be talking to Sam again about some more of the upcoming stuff. We obviously talked a little bit about Off the Hook with Ark Indie Productions. We'll be talking a little bit more about some more things. In the meantime, since we're going down this gritty cyberpunk route, let's continue. Let's do something a little bit more in Asian film. We're going to go with the film Akira. This song is Canada by Gaino Yamashirogumi. I think I've said that correctly. I apologise if I mispronounced it. However,
you said it with confidence, though.
I said it with confidence, so I'll say it again. Gaino Yamashirogumi. And someone out there is going to go, that's not it! But either way, we'll join Sam after the jump, and we'll catch you in a bit.
This is Ray.
Welcome back to Inside the Cyberpunk Studio, here on Ray Radio. I'm here with Sam Anderson from Ark Indie Productions. We've already spoken a little bit about the first film, Off the Hook, and we're also going to talk a little bit now about her upcoming film. So you've written something new. Is it going to be a 5-minute again?
It's on paper, it's about the same length of time. Okay. Well, maybe 30 seconds to a minute more. But so far, the plan is to write a few short ones, because I've got quite a few ideas. Oh, horror, for some reason. I didn't know that was my thing, but apparently it is. I'm
secretly a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, I can't watch horrors. I'm a massive wuss. But I can write them. So I've done this other short one. This time I'm handing... because I'm first an actress, and that's my main thing. But I'm handing this over to Alice. She's going to be my main actress in this. Oh, okay. And I'm going to be a small part in it. I won't say what the part is.
No, fair enough.
And Dan is DOP again. He's cinematographer.
Okay. Is he director as well, or are you directing?
No, that is
okay.
It's my debut.
Oh, okay, so you're going to actually step into the director's chair.
I am.
And that's why you're stepping back from taking the lead, yeah?
Absolutely,
cool.
yeah. I'm going to give it a go.
That's what I did with Human Cargo. So
right,
I get
that's
it.
right. You was an actor too, weren't you?
Yeah,
yeah.
I was.
I was.
In my slimmer days. But no, so I can understand that, because from a direction standpoint, you need to be able to oversee what's going on.
I think when you have that vision, I still can't understand how any writer, how any writer, I'm being very generalistic here, but how you can write something, see it in your head, and then quite happily hand it over to someone else's vision. It's a talent on both parts, I think. Yeah. But I see it, and I want it done a certain way, therefore...
A bit more of an auteur than...
Yeah.
You're autistic. No, it means that you prefer to keep hold of the artistic license the whole way through.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Then that makes me think, then I want the main part as well. Yeah. But something's got to give. And I have, like I said, I've done a lot of acting. I've now done a little bit of writing, and I've not done any directing. So that is my next.
That's your next.
Yeah.
Try it. No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So, have you studied anything to see? To give you ideas on?
I've watched a few YouTube videos, and I've looked at the big guns, Scorsese and Tarantino and things like that. But really, I mean, they're so in it. What they're saying is pretty relevant to me, but the main thing that comes out of it, which all directors seem to say at the end, is if you want to make movies, just do it.
Yeah,
money or not.
That's always producers, writers, directors, even actors will all say the same thing. You want to do it, just do it.
And I was talking to my brother who we were talking about arts council funding and all this sort of stuff, and I was just saying, I need to apply for this and do this, and he was like, you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't. This shouldn't be. It's very. You said we won't get political, so we won't. But I think when you're,
if it's relevant to what your point,
sure. If you're applying,
I just meant the show in general.
Yes,
so that's fine. If you've got a point to make, you make your point.
It's very sort of what's in the forefront of communities at the moment, or like mental health issues, or if you're writing something and you want funding, it helps your cause if it addresses situations that people are talking current issues. So
you're trying to focus on a subject matter
But actually, I don't. I've found when I'm writing, I don't have that decision. It's just an idea, like a dream. It's just not something you decide on. It's just an idea that you have. So it doesn't normally.
You don't start off going, right, I want to talk about this subject,
and here's an idea,
and then try and develop
it doesn't come from that.
Essentially, if you're going to talk about something that is socio-political in some way, it comes naturally out of the writing of a story that you're already interested in making.
Yes.
Okay, no, fair enough.
Sorry, excuse me.
That's all right. No, it is winter after all, so you'll have to bear with us.
I was hoping it would give me some sort of husky voice, but it hasn't.
No,
not at all. Just
you can always just try, darling.
No,
we can spend the whole show.
Oh
like
no,
this.
Here we go. Help me.
Let's move on. So with last week Alice was speaking about the next film project from Ark Indie. Do you have a name for it yet?
No.
Okay, so as yet untitled.
Well, I've nearly settled on a name.
Okay. What's the idea?
It's someone running in the woods.
Okay.
Then they find themselves locked up in a cabin.
Okay.
That's all I can say. It's such a short film that if I say
cabin
too much
man.
more, it's not a man, it's a woman.
Oh. Or is it? I'll just throw a twist at you for no reason.
Yeah, I'll bear it in mind.
That means no, ladies and gentlemen.
Cabin woman, yeah. No.
Cabin woman. No, it doesn't really work, does it?
No, I've tried to think of all sorts
the Fritzl files.
Oh God! Somebody help me.
That was a dungeon, not a cabin, anyway.
Yes, this is.
What is it with dungeons?
What is it with dungeons, eh? What is it with dungeons?
With all these dungeons? There's just so
Am
many.
I in a dungeon? Can I get out?
To be fair, we've got a lot, so possibly.
Oh.
We just let you...
This is helping me write my next film. You know? These experiences
A
are
lady
all...
goes on radio, finds
never.
out she's in a Saw scenario, and actually the whole thing is set up so we can broadcast.
Yeah.
It's actually a good idea. Because they're basically essentially broadcasting a snuff film.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's write it. I mean, not do it. Let's write it.
No, let's do it.
Oh.
We've got a woman.
Yeah.
Why is it always a woman that gets killed? I don't know. So there's always... Anyway, let's move on. So, after the jump, we'll be back. We're going to discuss with Sam Anderson a little bit about how we came to know each other, and how we got started, and how we got to know each other, and what you're doing outside of Ark Indie Productions. In the meantime, we're going to play the song Absurd, Whitewash Mix by Fluke, which was in the film Hackers 3. So, it's a really good song. You're going to love that. Hackers 3, I believe, is not actually in the film. There's a film called Hackers. Just to explain this to Sam, there's a film called Hackers. They had 3 soundtracks.
Only a girl.
There's a girl in it. It's got Angelina Jolie.
Who? No.
What? Yesterday you told me you hadn't seen any Cyberpunk apart from possibly Terminator 1 and 2, and now you're telling me you don't know who Angelina Jolie is.
I do, of course I do. Of course I do. And I definitely would.
She was the one on Friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll catch up after the jump.
This is Ray.
Welcome back to Inside the Cyberpunk Studio on Ray Radio. I'm here again still with Sam Anderson.
Hello.
A prolific director, writer, actress more so, but she's, Ark Indie Productions, as we mentioned earlier, is your own production company.
Yes.
So you're trying to do me. Copied me.
But girl version.
Girl version.
Girl version.
Not quite Cyberpunk, more horror though, yeah?
At the moment, yeah.
At the moment.
moment.
You didn't set out for horror.
No, I didn't actually. The first one I did was more of a thriller. Second one is more psychological, and then I have got one in the bag for. It's a bit longer though, so it's going to need funding. Whatever. That one is way off in the distance, but that's more. What do you call really creepy, weird? What on earth is going on? Horror.
That's still probably more psychological horror.
Yeah.
Because you've got psychological horror, which keeps you on the edge because of it weirding you out, and then you've got gore horror, which is like Saw and there was a hotel one, wasn't there, or something, which just had loads of guts. Yeah. I've never seen it. That sort of genre isn't my bag, but I understand that there's a thing for that.
Yeah, massive.
But I much prefer psychological horror and something that kind of.
Or sometimes a little bit supernatural, but more like subtle. So it's like Blair Witch. What's the one with the Ouija board where they're filming at night?
I don't know that one.
Oh, you do. It'll come back to me. Come back to me on that
I might know the name. I'm not that up on my horror films, I'll be honest. But the one of my favourite ones was Ring or Ringu, which is the Japanese. I
saw the Japanese one first.
I preferred it to the American one, though. The American first one wasn't so bad. The thing that I found out though was more recently. I watched the films long before I read any of the books. Well, I've actually read the original books.
Okay.
The interesting with those is the author is Koji Suzuki, who is a man who writes family and children's novels.
Oh, right.
And essentially the reason he made Ring as a novel, which then got adapted from there, was because he had a friend who worked in horror, who did horror films, horror novels and stuff like that. So what he decided to do was he had a bit of a bet going on. He basically said, I don't do horror because it's too easy. It's far too easy to make. Anyone can do horror. Right. And his friend who wrote horrors just went, no, it's not easy. Yeah. Like, I bet you couldn't write a popular horror.
Oh.
So he went, all right, I'll take that bet. So he wrote Ring,
smashed
or
it
Ringu,
water,
as it's
really,
known in Japan. Yeah. So and that sort of took off. It took off more from the film, honestly, than the books. But
it was quite a simple idea, wasn't it?
The thing is, though, the novel is darker, I'd say, than the film.
Usually the way.
Yeah. The film has the thing that I will praise the film for, and if you haven't watched Ring, then why not? I'm probably going to spoil the ending a little bit, so.
Spoiler alert.
Mute
there you go.
Mute for 10 seconds. The bit where she comes at the TV, that bit was added from the film. That didn't happen in the novel.
Oh, okay.
So the bit at the end, the guy basically sees a vision of her and then dies of a heart attack.
Right.
But that was still part of the curse.
Right, okay.
However, in the films, from the Japanese film and all the adaptations, there's a South Korean version that I've seen, which does basically the Japanese story again. The American one does basically the Japanese story again with some more changes. The manga books, which I was a bit of a fan of Ring for a while, they followed the same story as the films. The novel is the only one where it doesn't focus on a father, like a separated mother and father and a child. It actually has two men as the leads.
Oh, okay.
So rather than having, because it's in every version you've got the mother and the estranged dad.
Yeah.
But in the novel, it was a male journalist, not a female journalist.
Right.
And the male journalist had heard, essentially his story is very similar in that he's heard of this creepy thing of this video that kills people, and then he decides to investigate it, watches the video in the hut, gets the phone call, 1 week sort of thing.
1 week to rule them all.
Oh, he's gone. We've lost him. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be
Shouldn't
back.
do that without a drink. But yeah.
Or at all.
Why not? You might like it.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
It's gonna
this
be a
show
long
goes
afternoon.
easily off the rails, doesn't it?
I did nothing there. That was all you.
It was me. Isn't it odd? I'm the one who's meant to keep it on track, and I'm the worst one for derailing it. Anyway,
I'll call you back, don't worry.
beg your pardon. Anyway, where was he, Gollum? No, so he goes and gets this phone call 1 week sort of thing.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of finding the ex-husband character, that character is instead a friend he knew from college.
Right.
And he decides to pull the friend in quotation marks, as if real friend.
Yeah.
They're friends because when they were in college, this friend confided in him that every day he went to college, he passed a window where a woman would forget to close the curtains, and he'd always watch her undress. And essentially, one day he went in there and assaulted her. Based on that, and he was the only one he told, and for some reason this journalist guy just kept it to himself.
Yeah.
But he decided, because there's the whole thing is you're going to die in a week, he thinks,
Yeah.
well, if I'm going to kill someone else with me,
Yeah.
might as well make it someone like that.
Yeah.
So that way I'm not going to take down another innocent. So he takes this friend along, and everything this friend says is like a double-edged sword. He's quite clever. He's still very intelligent, this friend. In fact, this friend is a scientist, so he's very logical-minded, very intelligent, just also very evil.
Yeah.
And he has this... a lot of things that he says almost have a secondary sort of sexual structure to them, which makes him even more creepy.
Yeah.
So when he dies at the end, it's not... it's still a shock, but there's kind of a bit more... it's a little bit more cathartic, because you're like, well, it's a rapist
Yeah,
that's died,
good, yeah.
so,
Yeah.
if anyone was going to die, it's him, but now you're, again, wondering... it still leaves you with the question of why did he die in the first place,
Yeah.
didn't. So it's a very different story.
Okay, that's the book.
That's the book.
In the film, it doesn't... you pass it on, don't you? That's the
so,
curse. So when you say
that's what he doesn't realise. When he showed his friend, or when she shows her ex-boyfriend the video, she cures herself
That's
of it.
right, yeah. See, that's not that original idea. I don't know when this was written, but there is a 19th century...
yeah, so it's late 1990s, so...
yeah, so when he had this bet, he didn't plagiarise or anything, I'm not accusing him of that, but
a
it
lot
wasn't
of ideas
an
get
original...
reused just
yeah.
because
But
there's so many
he added
stories.
his own twist on it, and obviously,
Yeah.
when you watch the film, coming out...
coming out the thing.
Spoiler alert.
But the irony was, the following novels, he did one called Spiral, he did a prequel called Birthday, and Ring Zero Birthday, and there was another one as well, which I've got. I can't remember what that one's called. Doesn't matter. The point is, he did three or four novels on it, and he changed it up every time.
Yeah.
So the first one's more like a horror, the second one explains it in medical terms.
Oh, okay.
So it ends up that it's actually a virus that's transmitted via light.
Oh.
So I don't know how then you can cure it by passing it on, but apparently that works. That's the bit that it doesn't really go into.
Right, yeah.
I've shown
Skip
my
over
friends,
that
so the
bit.
virus will now just kill itself. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So that's kind of why the series doesn't normally progress past Ring, because it gets rid of the mystery and not in the best way.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, we've derailed quite a bit there. So we were talking about how we've met. I'll let you explain how we came to be. And
Well, I just heard of an audition. Alice put me forward for it, and I Well, I went for it, but with a delay, didn't I? Because I actually got a call from my agent saying
What audition?
It was for a sports advert, Sky Sports advert.
So what was the one you delayed?
The audition for Human
Cargo.
No, it was the audition, wasn't it? Yeah. So I had
it was. Yeah.
So I had the audition for Sky Sports, and then I was lined up with you to audition for Human Cargo.
That's right, yeah.
And then the day before, we was actually filming at the Palace Theatre for Peter Finley's
Not Yet the Hero.
Not Yet the Hero. What's his production company called?
I can't remember. It's quite a long name. It's a decent name as well. I just can never remember
I will throw that in before we finish when I think of it.
Yeah, we'll look it up and explain it off the jump.
Yeah.
I can never remember that name. And it's Stonehill Theatre?
Stonehill Productions.
Stonehill Productions.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done. So we were at the Palace Theatre filming for that, and I hadn't actually met you. I just knew of you, and I'd spoke to you, your messenger, whatever. And then I had a call from my agent saying, you've got the part for the Sky Sports advert, be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was
tomorrow was the audition
for with you, and so you walked in while I was on the phone to the agent and sort of did this big hello, and I didn't know who you were, so I sort of thought he's nice, and sort of gave you a little nod and wave, hello there, and then you walked off, and then
she just thought I was some pillock.
Hello,
I like you.
I just thought it was friendly little man. So then
little man, not that short.
He walked off. I finished my phone call, came back in, group of people, including Rory, standing there. And I went, I'm so pleased. I've got this Sky Sports advert. I'm going to go up there tomorrow.
You're bragging about it. I'm just sitting there going, tomorrow.
And then I was going, but I've got to. I was just about to say, I've got to email this bloke and ask him if it's okay to reschedule this audition because it looks, And I was thinking, I was going to say all this out loud. I was going to go, do I lie?
Right in front of you.
Yeah, and then he turned around and just went, so do you want to reschedule tomorrow the audition? And I just went, I'm so sorry, I didn't realise who you were. That's the most unprofessional moment of my acting career. But you took it very well. You just went, yeah, no, fine, we'll reschedule.
I'm used to abuse.
Yeah. Honestly, this advert as well, it was just like the flash of the side of my face. Yeah.
Shame.
What, meaning? Excuse me?
That was a dirty joke, and I apologise profusely.
I didn't get it.
Look, if you want another unprofessional moment, let's watch it.
Oh no.
So anyone who's going to watch the YouTube afterwards will see what I'm doing.
Don't watch it. It's horrific.
Sam has a problem with people when they put headphones on the outside of their ears and it folds their ear. It's destroying her.
What if it doesn't straighten back up?
It will. It's like cardboard. Look. It just wobbles like Dumbo.
What if it just stays like that? I hope it does stay like that.
Thanks. I hope you're deformed.
You must have something that freaks you out like that.
Yes.
Well, please share.
Needles.
Well, no, that's not the same. That's not the same. Like...
What, something that someone can touch on their body?
Yeah, like eyeballs or something like that. Or my husband really hates... I'll show you. Where's the camera on me? I'll show you.
Yeah.
This bit here.
Oh,
so there's my elbow. That's normal.
Yeah.
Pointy, sharp, whatever. But what's that? Oh, look at it. It's not
That's
that bad.
a bit of your joint.
Yeah, it's like an extra bit. But he gets really freaked out. He goes, look at the skin all stretched over.
What, it freaks him out?
Yeah. Honestly, he could be winding me up and I just go...
Trump card. Love it. Brilliant.
Put that away. My secret weapon.
Put yourself away.
Honestly.
So there you go. We've learnt a little bit more about your husband.
One
as
of
well.
my foibles.
So
imagine our fights.
And just weird. I'm folding my ear and you're telling your husband showing your elbow. The other thing we were going to, I just wanted to say, just because we got a bit of time, so might as well throw in some anecdotes. When we were filming Human Cargo, Dan Keeble was my cinematographer. And he insisted, it was originally a 2-day shoot, and he insisted we do a third day, and God bless that man for convincing me to do that. Oh, powered down. What's going on? We're on a power cut. Okay. Alright, so, we're still recording on the video, so we might as well...
Okay, so what, do we a delay?
I'm going to give a jiggly jangle.
A jiggly jangle?
Jiggly jangle.
Would you like me to sing?
This is Ray.
Right, so I'm going to apologise first off. The reason we disappeared for a few minutes is because downstairs some numbnuts, not him, don't worry, some numbnuts hit the power and cut off all of our power. That was nice of them. So we're back now, so we're going to finish the show. We've got another 45 minutes, so we're still good. What we might do is... I'll do that anecdote. We can blend this in post. We'll fix it in post. You'll learn this as a director. We'll fix it in post. So essentially the story I was going to tell was when we did Human Cargo. The first day was a suggestion by Dan Keeble. God bless that man for suggesting it, because there was no way we'd have done it all in 2 days.
It was a squeezing through.
It was a stick. Absolutely, we were late into the night on the third day anyway.
Well, it was a 15-minute film, wasn't it? So
15-minute movie. Yeah, I mean, you did the 5-minute in two days.
Yeah,
and then I did a 15-minute in 3. That's not. No, I'm not saying it's because there's simpler shots in mine, I think, than there was in.
Yeah.
Dan wanted a lot more shots for pieces. I had quite a few long shots, like cover shots, because there was dialogue. I think that something that I learned quite quickly doing Human Cargo and then doing Off the Hook was when you film dialogue scenes, certainly if you're filming with the eye of keeping a shot in place for a while, you can actually go through a scene quicker.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've got dialogue to hold the audience, and so long as artistically that shot has merit, you can film the whole thing from there. The thing that takes longest isn't filming a shot, it's setting up a shot.
Yeah.
So the less shots you have to set up, the quicker you can get through a film. That's the reason why I could get through Human Cargo, which is 3 times longer in only 1 day extra.
Yeah.
Whereas Off the Hook had a lot more shots to set up, so even for a 5-minute film, it still took 2 days.
Yeah.
There's nothing any more or less artistic about either. It's just exactly what you feel you need to get the point across in your film. So, yeah, I just thought I'd put that.
And
up
one
there.
for safety.
One for safety.
Do one for safety.
Yeah, do one for safety. Certainly with Sam. That was
I'm a one-shot wonder, I'll have you know. First
only
take.
one of you.
First take wonder.
But we did multiple takes.
No, that wasn't me.
Well, that was your twin sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when we did the first day shoot, it wasn't the first shot, but it must have been like the second or I think it was the second or third shot. So it wasn't very far into it.
Yeah, I did the sad bit.
Yeah,
first.
we did the sad bit at the end. So the bit at the very end of the film where Sam has to cry to herself. We're all sitting there taking the piss, which making her job a lot easier. And
I specifically
she asked for professionalism, and we did not give it to her.
Did not. It was a challenge, but I rose to the occasion.
You did indeed. And then the second scene was in the shower. So, and essentially the way it was written before, you don't see anything. It was never intended that you'd see anything, but it was written that she'd be topless in the shower, obviously having a shower. And quite rightly, Sam requested that she not be topless, filming a scene, second shot on the first day of an independent film. I can completely understand that. So but obviously we had to try and think of a way around it. And the reason that I'm telling this story is because it's quite funny. What happened was Dan Keeble came up with, the cinematographer, as I say, he came up with a brilliant way around it. Very artistic way around it. So Sam kept her t-shirt on while having a shower, which can't have been particularly comfortable, but because of what it is, it clings, so you can't see it in the bit we did film, which was her silhouette on the wall. So you can see a bit of her hair and her arms as she's washing her hair, but you can't see her upper body. But you can see it all in the silhouette, and the silhouette, as I say, just looks like she is topless. So we managed to film that shot without actually having anything like that, which, suited everyone's needs as perfectly as possible. When Dan came up to me and says, I've got this idea, I think I know our way around this shot. I was like, that's a great idea, we'll do that. Dan then goes, I think it was Dan who told you, or someone else may have told you about how they changed the shot. Yep. Sam was so happy with that, she ran to me and she was like, oh, thank you so much.
You.
Oh, thank you.
I was really worried about it, thank you.
At this point, I'm just like, I need a drink. So I'm bewildered, and all of a sudden I'm getting this heaps of praise. And again, this is only the second scene. Yeah, and a big hug. And I'm like, I've only just met you, what? And I was like, okay, I like this, but what? Before I can say, oh, actually, I actually listen to what she's saying and go, actually, that was Dan's idea. Like, well done, Dan. Dan's already walked up and gone, that was my idea. Yeah. That was my idea. It was like kicking a puppy. It was like, oh, poor Dan.
Poor Dan didn't get the praise.
It's out there for you. And I think I actually made that, I think I actually stated that in the Blu-ray commentary as well. So just so you know, Dan, I haven't tried to steal your glory.
No, and it was a nice shot.
And it was a very nice shot. So, the man deserves heaps of praise.
The man did good.
The man did
for
good.
both of us.
Yeah. So with that in mind, we're gonna we'll see you. I'll start again. This power cut screwed me, hasn't it? I'm just like,
you're all inside out.
I'm talking like a chicken. So yeah, after the jump, I'm going to discuss a Cyberpunk film as I normally do. I'm going to discuss the Super Mario Brothers movie. Sam's looking at me like, number one with what the hell, and then I don't know about that, but there's a reason I'm mentioning that this week, and I'll come to that after the jump as well. In the meantime, we're going to listen to Firestarter by Prodigy. However, it's not the original. This is the Empyrean mix from the Hackers 2 CD. And the reason we're going with the Empyrean mix is it's a little bit more pacey and aggressive. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as much as the original. We'll catch you after the jump.
This is Ray.
Welcome back to Inside the Cyberpunk Studio. I am Rory Joscelyne. I'm still here. I'm still your host. I have not been kicked off yet. I have not been thrown out the door. And we still have Sam Anderson, who also, likewise, has not been thrown out the door.
Or thrown you out the door.
Yeah, or certainly for the power cut, which wasn't my fault. I didn't do it. Someone plugged in a kettle downstairs. That will give you an idea. It wasn't me. I've got a Coke. I don't need a kettle. Who's having hot Coke? Ugh. Anyway... I think they're probably having tea.
I don't know how to respond to that. Yeah.
No, well, what? Because hot Coke could mean something else, or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Do you not heat that up in the spoon, or is that something else? I don't know. I don't know drugs. I have ibuprofen. That's my hardcore drug here. I have three of them. I'm buzzing.
Please stay away from drugs.
Except for ibuprofen.
Or sleeping tablets, whichever. Yeah.
Sleeping tablets. Not a bit Night Nurse. I'm addicted to Night Nurse. But she never comes round anymore.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so this part is going to be me waffling for a little bit, but hopefully Sam can interject if
he lets me. No.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying not to... last week, I'm going to be honest, last week, I listened to it back. It's the first proper radio show I've done. And when Alice was talking, I did have a penchant to sort of jump and go, yeah. I'm just like, shut up, Rory. So I am trying to keep that back. But unfortunately, that is part of my DNA. So
but if you can listen back and self-criticise and
absolutely,
you'll only get better.
Shut up.
Okie dokie. Noted.
No, don't shut up. Please stay. Please talk. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is just have a quick chat about Super Mario Brothers the movie. Because last week we spoke about Strange Days, which is an amazing cyberpunk film. I suggest you write that down because I know you're looking at them. Strange Days is a very good film. I'll just quickly give a recap for Sam and anyone who wasn't listening. Strange Days is a cyberpunk film made in '95, produced and co-written by James Cameron just after Titanic. You know who made Titanic? James Cameron?
I was thinking, was that after? But
no, it was after. It was after Titanic.
Titanic was released in
94.
8.
Was it?
90s.
Yeah,
98.
No, because I thought it was just after Jurassic Park.
No, Titanic was 98, I'm sure of it. No. Oh, let's have a little bet. Ooh. Let's have a little wager.
We'll have a wager.
1998 Titanic.
Yep, okay.
Answers on the poster.
I think it's 94, so...
Oh, no, you are so wrong.
No, write it down and then check it. You write it down and check it. And if I'm wrong, then I've brought you a drink already, so I've already lost. So...
win.
She's going to win anyway, even if 98. She's lost.
Can you carry a story? Come off aeroplane mode and Google it.
Fair enough. But yeah, anyway, so it was... co-written and produced by James Cameron, and the director was Catherine Bigelow, who you may not know by name, should do. She was the first female director to win a Saturn Award for direction for Strange Days, but later on she became the first female director to get an Academy Award, a Directors Guild of America Award, and which not a BAFTA I don't think, but it was a British award as well for Best Director for The Hurt Locker. Go on, what you found? It's January 98, so it doesn't count.
I'm just going to do a smug face into the camera.
Bitch.
He never...
I'm allowed to swear because we put it at the beginning of the show, so...
Well, you can say anything.
Yeah, but please...
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no one told me that.
No.
So well behaved.
Technically, I'm trying to keep it clean, but it's me.
Shut up.
And you know me. Show me. So, Anyway, we can discuss the Super Mario Brothers movie. The reason being that there's a little bit of news coming out on it this week, and on top of that, it's kind of on topic. Okay, I'm gonna be real with it, people now, right? Okay, I love this film, and I know I shouldn't, and I know there's loads of people who are big fans of Cyberpunk going, you did Strange Days, which is a great, cool, and slightly unknown film last week, and instead of Blade Runner, instead of maybe even the comedy of Demolition Man, instead of Dark City, which was requested, I haven't seen it yet, and I will do, because that is an amazing film from what I've heard. It's got Richard O'Brien in it, the guy who... Crystal Maze. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Legend.
Yeah, absolute legend. So yeah, that's one I need to see, but I haven't seen that yet, so I won't pretend that I have. However, as much as Super Mario Brothers is a horrible film in several ways, I'm going to give a reason for it. And originally I did this because this was going to be more of a comedy episode. However, it still suits because some of the stuff coming out about it this week is deleted scenes from the film that include political commentary. Which may sound a bit of a surprise to some of you, but bear in mind, I'm the person working on the restoration of these scenes, so I've seen them, and they exist. And we're going to release them alongside the Super Mario Brothers movie archive later this week, or next week, should I say. If you want to check out what they've done, all the stuff they've collated, it's smbmovie.com.
I'm not writing that down. Don't look at me like that.
You need to write this down. www.smbmovie.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Super Mario Brothers, the movie archive, and obviously on YouTube as well, where we'll be releasing these videos. So yeah, with Super Mario Brothers, as I say, they cut out the political commentary of the film. So some of these deleted scenes, the first one we're going to show in this video is a deleted rap sequence. Now I'm not portraying any surprise there. People knew that a rap scene was filmed.
What you didn't know is that Rory is now going to do
I'm
rap.
I'm not doing to do the rap.
Oh.
You can wait for the video. But yeah, because number one, I can't rap.
Have you tried?
I don't think I will.
I can rap.
Yeah?
Send it to me.
Why don't you
I'll
do it then? I'll get you the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah? You gonna do it?
You get me back on the show, I'll do the rap.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Boom.
You know, I'll hold you to that. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I'm holding it to it. She's going to do the rap. So anyway, so there's going to be a rap on there from Iggy and Spike, who start off as villains and become assistants to Mario and Luigi throughout the film. And also there's a part when they come back into Dinohattan after going on the run. There's a scene that was cut from the film where Luigi asks that he's seen loads of posters, and you can see these posters still in the film. They're white background posters with Koopa. There's one with him holding a baby, and it says Koopa the Compassionate, and there's one with him with a baseball bat, and it says Koopa the Sportsman, and things like that. Now, those were part of this deleted scene, and it was actually part of the world building that was cut from the film. And essentially, in this scene, Luigi asks Iggy and Spike, goes, "We keep seeing these posters of Koopa the Sportsman, Koopa the whatever. What's that all about?" And they said, well, people get to vote for who they want in power, so they can choose whoever they want. And they're like, you can vote for anyone so long as it's Koopa. And he was like, well, yeah. And he was like, well, what sort of system do you call that? Democracy. So it's a very, you basically pick whatever flavour of the same guy every time. So it may be relatively small, but it is an interesting feature that I've not seen in many, if any, other films. Why did they cut it? Because essentially the film started off as an independent cyberpunk-focused production, a lot more dark. And over the course of production, they got funding from Disney or via Buena Vista. And Disney wanted it to be more child-friendly, because it's a Super Mario Brothers video game film. So they tried to soften it up. The director's kind of got semi-fired halfway through. It's the biggest case I've ever seen of producer involvement, where the suits have come in basically and derailed a film for what they think is the best, and has left a film that is kind of a husk of what it used to be.
Right.
And what's good about it is some of the documentaries that have come out, everyone's really frank about it. So if you want to learn about how a production can go wrong without anyone doing that normal Hollywood, no, it was all fantastic, really, where they're just like, yeah, it was a bit crap, and the reason it was crap was because of this. And they're really blunt and really frank about it. This film is the one. You can learn all about how a film can get derailed from this one movie. It's a great little piece for that. But here's the other thing. A lot of people said to me, why would that film have been made with that budget, with that, certainly the level of cast they had. They had, John Leguizamo, who was relatively new, but he was still a well-known comedian at the time. You had Bob Hoskins, who was famous. He'd already done Who Framed Roger Rabbit and a lot of the East London gangster films.
Oh, yeah.
He was a big name. And obviously Dennis Hopper was already a big name, and he played Cooper. You had big actors in big roles. And the reason why, I'm just going to give you a brief breakdown of who did the film behind the scenes on the crew side, just to show you where, as far as the DNA of this film is concerned, it should have been the best movie ever made. Weirdly enough, even though obviously that's not what we got. So the directors were a duo. There were a couple at the time, I believe, called Rocky Morton and Annabelle Yankel. And prior to this, they'd made a 1985 cyberpunk movie and a follow-on Channel 4 TV series called Max Headroom, which was they hired an actor and pretended he was an artificial intelligence TV reporter, and they sort of did a pastiche where they had celebrities come on for interviews and played their music videos, that sort of thing. They had Roger Daltrey on the show, Boy George, Michael Caine. Loads of big, prolific names went on that show. So when they went to Hollywood, they seemed to be a relatively good bet. You want to do something cyberpunky and a bit edgy. They had that already in the bag, and they'd already been used to working with big celebrities. The cinematographer was a guy called Dean Semler, who previously had done the film Dances with Wolves.
Yep.
And he'd also done Mad Max 2. And since then, he's done the film Maleficent. Right. So this is a man who's got a lot of pedigree in the cinematography. And you can tell because it's actually very well shot, despite the fact that the story is mostly, I think, the writing side that sort of started to fall down. Even then, one of the writers was Ed Solomon, who previously had written Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and went on to write Men in Black. So even one of the three writers was a prolific writer and is known as a prolific writer. The production design for all the sets was done by David L. Snyder, who'd previously been the art director for Blade Runner, which is why the sets and the style of the film...
Snyder.
What?
Snyder?
Yeah, David L. Snyder.
Didn't you use that name in Human Cargo?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that based on...
No, but actually it's
maybe somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, maybe I remembered it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he also did Demolition Man as well. So that sort of aesthetic, Super Mario Brothers the movie fits in with that because he designed the sets in the same vein. And the music, the background music, was composed by Alan Silvestri, who previously had done Back to the Future, Predator, and he later went on to do all the Avengers series of films. These are big names, massive professionals. Like, with the DNA like that, you can see why someone would go, actually, we want to invest in that. That's going to be awesome. And yet, the film has managed to... In some ways, it's a cult classic, but it's not as well-loved, I think, as I would certainly like it to be. Yeah. It's kind of become a bit of a running joke in Cyberpunk. But I thought that was worthy of mention, because I think that was a very interesting background to a film.
Yeah, absolutely.
After the jump, we're going to do our normal 10 questions to Sam about Cyberpunk inside the Actors Studio pastiche, but we'll come to that in a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to play the song Play For Real, the Dirtyphonics mix by The Crystal Method. So I hope you enjoy it.
This is Ray.
And we're back here on Inside the Cyberpunk Studio, here on Ray Radio. Oh, she's got a cough again.
Oh, I didn't think anyone had noticed.
No, I decided I'd destroy your stealth.
Like coughing ninja.
Yeah. Gurgling ninja.
Coughing.
Oh, coughing. I don't know why I heard gurgling.
No,
that's me.
I know.
So the final section we've got here, as I say, we did this last week with Alice. This is going to be a recurring feature of the show. 10 questions. Now, Sam, have you ever heard of Inside the Actors Studio?
I've heard of it, yes. I know, I should have.
You're an actress, you should have watched it.
Yeah, I feel like I have before, but I didn't know what I was watching as well.
So, no, that's fine. So, essentially what it is, in brief, is an American show where they bring in famous actors, sometimes directors, things like that, but usually actors, thus the name.
Yep.
They bring in actors, and they have an audience of students, like acting students, and
I have seen it,
and essentially they tell them about the craft. At the end of every episode, they have a series of 10 questions that they ask the famous actor.
Yep.
and they just answer whatever, and they're not normally acting related sometimes, but you know they can vary here and there. Mine have just been twisted to fit in with the theme of being Cyberpunk studio.
Twisted.
Some of them are a bit twisted.
I'm ready for it.
So, first thing I'll ask you, this isn't one of the 10. Did you want to answer these as a writer-director, or did you want to answer these as an actress?
Actress, please.
Actress, fine. So, what is your favourite thing about Cyberpunk?
I'm in one.
You're in one.
I'm in a cyberpunk film.
The Human Cargo one.
That literally is my favourite thing as well, because I unless you named a film that I didn't realise was a cyberpunk film, I don't think I've seen that many.
No?
No, okay. I would, or like I say, I might have, and I've put them down as action.
Sure. There is a crossover with cyberpunk in other genres.
You sent me
Johnny Mnemonic?
No.
No, you haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic?
You told me to watch Need for Speed.
That's
not
not
action.
cyberpunk.
Right, okay.
That's an action.
But it did have that sort of similar.
There was a colourful vibe to it, but it wasn't a cyberpunk. Cyberpunk generally requires there to be a fight against authority, usually including a technological revolution.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's not really there in Need for Speed. It's a guy just trying to win a race to prove he's not a murderer.
Going really fast, yeah.
Going vroom vroom. Probably not on the blue meth that he was in the other show, but
yeah.
But yeah, what is your least favourite thing about Cyberpunk? When you're not in one?
Well, not being in enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Least favourite thing. Well, actually, if I can go by conversations that we've had,
sure.
You might.
This is your opinions. Don't worry about my feelings or anything else.
The conversation we had about it, that you'd sort of changed the dynamic of this one by making the woman less sexualised and more of a hero. So batting for the women actress
sort of more,
leads.
Yeah.
Not having them sexualised as their main function. You know?
I mean, there's plenty of non-sexualised cyberpunk as well, but generally, if there's a focused woman, they're either not the lead, or if they are close to the lead, it's a little bit more sexualised.
That is only off the top of my head and based on a conversation we've had, not ones that I've seen. So
no, that's fine. I mean, to be fair, you did say you'd seen Terminator 2, and obviously Sarah Connor in that. She's not sexualised. And she's a strong female lead, so she's sort of the antithesis of that. But I do see this is actually the same answer that I gave to that question.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
hence writing.
Stronger. Hence writing Human Cargo.
Joanna.
Yeah. If you could only have one, if you could only have one piece of media, you had to get rid of all the others and only live with just the one. Would you keep film, theatre, music, or gaming?
Film.
You keep film,
I keep film. Yeah, theatre, you can't beat that feeling of being on stage.
Yeah.
But you can, you lose it. It's gone. You know, once you've done it, you've done it. With film, you've
got something there recorded.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Red pill or blue pill? Have you ever seen The Matrix?
Oh, I have, but I don't know what they mean.
So the red pill means that you stay in Wonderland, and so you believe the lies and you stay in the fake reality.
Yep.
Blue pill is you go down the rabbit hole and see how far it goes. Basically means you wake up and see what the real world is like.
I'm a nosy bugger.
Yeah, so you're blue pill.
Yeah.
Yes, you're blue pill. What sound or instrument do you like?
Piano.
Piano, yeah?
Yeah.
And what sound or instrument do you not like?
First thing that came to my mind was a bit pretentious, but Bach.
Bach, yeah.
The that organy thing.
That sort of old church organ music sort of stuff, yeah.
Really, no, but more Henry VIII type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I see
like that green sleeves instrument.
Yeah.
What's that?
What, the lute or the pipes?
Pipes.
Pipes, yeah. Okay.
Irritates the hell out of me. I like mine the song. It's
tinny, just the tone of that instrument. No, fair enough.
I could punch it if it was a thing. You know, punch that noise.
I know that feeling. So, if you woke, this is going to be probably an awkward one for you to answer. If you woke up in a cyberpunk movie, which one would it be?
Human Cargo.
Human Cargo, because you essentially did.
Was in it.
Is there a role in media other than your own that you would like to try?
A role in media?
Yeah. So you mentioned you're trying direction soon. You've done writing already and you're continuing that, acting, etc.
I can't think of one that I wouldn't like to try, really. I mean, actually, I don't...
Is there anything specific that you look at and go, actually, I'd like to try that next?
Directing, yeah.
Directing's your next one, yeah.
I will always come back to acting. That's my passion. That's my, the essence of me.
That is my essence, darling.
But yeah, directing, I definitely want to give it a go.
Okay.
And I suppose, I'm doing a bit of writing, which is relatively new to me, so But,
Can you think of any that you wouldn't like to do?
Well, I can't seem to get my head around producing. It seems like just the worst bits of everything.
You're basically the admin for all the creative
I feel like
stuff,
that.
basically.
But when I spoke to Alice, who's a great producer, she loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she gets. I just think, really, I feel guilty when she produced Off the Hook.
Yeah.
And
it's a heavy load doing the producing.
Oh, and she produced Human Cargo.
Yeah.
Silent Hymns of Light.
Yeah. She's not a slouch.
No.
That's one thing about Alice you can't say.
Absolutely, no.
Yeah. So
many things.
So the last question then: how would you perform the Joker?
Oh, Heath Ledger.
No. How would you perform the Joker?
Right, gotcha.
How would you reimagine him in your So you've got the role of the Joker, and you've got to do it differently in your own way. How would you perform it?
Do you want to? Well, I mean, it's how to put. Wow, that's a really hard question because how do you sum up crazy? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what you have to answer.
Yeah. Don't have to.
Yes, you do.
Just go home.
Take your ball and go home.
I've had enough of this nonsense. No, I mean, yeah. Times when I've actually performed crazy. We did what was that Ibsen one? Where it was, in a mental asylum.
Oh, I only really know a Doll's House out of Ibsen.
Maybe it wasn't Ibsen, maybe it was something else. But anyway, we did a whole session on being as if we were in an asylum, old school asylum where you are not looked after properly, and it had to bring out the absolute crazy in you and see how far you could be pushed to the limits. I would like to think if I got the chance to play Joker, I would have a director who could push me to those limits of crazy.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it would be on me. But I wouldn't know how to open those doors. I mean, no. I have a method of, when I'm acting and I'm getting into a role, I have a way of drawing on experiences and things like that.
You don't have an idea of how you might reinterpret that character. Any specific qualities you think you could bring to the table?
Like what? What do you mean?
Would you go with the psychopathic, or would you go with the sociopathic, or would you, sociopathic would mean that there's a reason that you've become that way. Psychopathic would mean that you've got no empathy. And
I think it would be psychopathic. I wouldn't want any sympathy as such. I don't think.
So, as you say, the Heath Ledger style one, where there's no compassion.
No, it's just gone.
Yeah.
But then, the Joaquin Phoenix one, there was a little bit of sympathy for him, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was more of a sociopathic Joker.
Yeah.
There was a reason he got.
And
to
that obviously worked very well as well.
Sure.
But no, I think the social.
You think you'd go
psycho,
with another psycho?
If you're going to do a role like that, just go all out and
nuts.
be the I'd do it, Hitler style.
Very good. Well, we're out of time, so thank you, Sam, for coming into the show.
It's been good fun.
Thank you for tuning in, people at home, or if you're listening post afterwards. after the post. If you're listening after the show, thank you also for tuning up with Ray Radio. If you want to get involved or you want to contact us, you can contact Cyberpunk Studios on facebook.com/cyberpunkfilm. You can tweet us at cyberpunkfilm or follow our Instagram at Cyberpunk Studios. And also, if you want to keep up with everything on Ray Radio, go to www.listentoray.com, and you can follow everything from there. We also have our show on our official website, cyberpunkstudios.com, and it's just /inside-the-cyberpunk-studio. You can also go just on radio, so just go to cyberpunkstudios.com and click on radio on the link. We're going to close out now with Ghost in the City by The Crystal Method, featuring Le Castlevania and Amy Kirkpatrick. Have a good week.